Hey, I'm Randy, and you're watching The Cheap Audio Man. Here at The Cheap Audio Man, we talk about high-value hi-fi home theater and headphone equipment. And today, it doesn't get much higher value than this. We're talking about the Fluance Ai81s. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about these $500 powered tower speakers. Big shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace, squarespace.com. Easiest way to start a website. Fluance reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to review these speakers? And so normally I'm not a huge powered speaker guy. Yet. I'm not closing the door on it. I'm not saying that powered speakers aren't for me. I just haven't found some that really resonated with me. So when I clicked on the link and I saw that these have two 6.5-inch woofers, and they're powered, and they're $500 a pair. Well, to say that I was interested would be an understatement. Fluance has three powered models. One is a 6.5-inch bookshelf version. This one is the, tower version with two 6.5-inch woofers. And then they also have a 5-inch bookshelf version. Prices vary from $500 at the top, and then $299 for the 6.5-inch bookshelf. And then $250 or $249 for the 5-inch bookshelf. Squarespace is the easiest way to start your own website. They have dozens of templates to choose from, and you can pick different themes depending upon what type of website you would like to create. They have analytics. You can sell stuff. You can get your own personalized domain. Just run over to squarespace.com/cheapaudioman. Get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace is responsible for thousands of websites, and it's super easy. Even I can do it. I created a website on Squarespace. I've since let it go away. It used to be called asmac.org. That's Audiophile Standards, Measurements, and Certification Committee. asmac.org. It was a joke website. But the takeaway is it took me about 3 hours from the time I had the idea in my brain and then the website was actually up and people could go to it. There's a bunch of training videos on there too. So they will walk you through exactly what you need to do to start your own website. And I cannot stress enough how easy it is. So today, you can start your own website. If you've been putting it off, run over to squarespace.com, check it out. You don't even have to put in your credit card. You can build out your website for free. Check it out before you even give them your credit card information. Analytics, domains, everything. Squarespace.com. If you've ever even thought about creating your own website, do it. Do it. Go over to squarespace.com/cheapaudioman for 10% off your first purchase. So I'm just going to go down the line of what they have listed on their website. Okay. Raw power for an exhilarating performance, powered by an integrated 150-watt amplifier. These active floor-setting speakers deliver breathtaking imaging with refined detail and impressive bass for an immersive audio experience. Premium neodymium drivers. Is it neodymium or neodymium? Either way. High-performance tweeters produce a captivating stereo soundstage while providing spacious off-axis dispersion, allowing you to hear beautifully expressed highs. Natural mid-range and deep bass. Meticulously engineered speaker cabinets, expertly tuned, internally braced MDF wood cabinets produce a full range of sound and feature down-firing bass ports for deep and natural omnidirectional bass. Your entire home theater system simplified. Easily connect to your favorite audio source through RCA and optical inputs or Bluetooth 5 for wireless streaming without the need for a separate amplifier or receiver, and add more bass with a subwoofer out. I don't think you're going to need to do that. What's on the back? On the back, it's pretty simple. There are two RCA inputs, one subwoofer output, and then an IEC power connection. And then the speaker outputs go from the right speaker to the left speaker. So both speakers are being amplified in the powered speaker. And then you just run your speaker cable over to the left speaker. I use one of my speaker cables because the included speaker cable wasn't very long and it wasn't terminated in banana plugs, even though there are banana plug receivers on the back of the speaker. Now, I'm not complaining because we have to keep something in perspective here. These are $500 for a pair of powered tower speakers with some sort of DAC in there, and a subwoofer out, and a remote control with tone controls. Most speakers this size that are passive are more than $500. So we have to be realistic. If they short you on a speaker cable that doesn't have banana plugs, then fine. These look really good too. I got the white ones with bamboo sides. They're also available in a brown version that has a black baffle, another brown version that has a white baffle, and then an all black version if you want to go stealth mode. So let's talk about how these sound. So how do these sound? Well, it's going to sound like I'm going to be very critical of these speakers. In some regards, I am. However, these speakers definitely have a place in some people's lives. It may not be for the most discerning of audiophile, because there's some issues here with the sound. I will start off with the bass. The good news is the bass hits very deep. They have some DSP going on to accentuate the bass. Personally, I think they overdid it a bit. However, with the tone controls, one can back down the bass. I'm not sure what exact frequency it's affecting on the tone controls, but there's a 10 button swing. So you hit the thing 10 times. So 5 plus, 5 down. I personally, for my listening, got it down to about -3, maybe even -4. I think the stock tuning out of the box is way too emphasized in the bass, to the point where it's covering up a lot of mid-range detail. The treble is also boosted. So I brought the bass down -3, -4, and I brought the treble down about -2. And these aren't shelf EQs, right? So it's two different frequencies. Now there is a Q, so even though I'm bringing up or bringing down a specific frequency, the frequencies around it are also being affected, just not as much. I wish there were some mid-range controls. I also wish there was some type of EQ, maybe a 5-band EQ, 10-band would be even better, because the stock tuning is really bassy, really boosted on the top end. So I'm talking a very severe type of a V-shaped sound. I like a V-shaped sound, and it was still a little bit too much for me. Again though, stick with me till the end of the video, because I think this speaker does have a place in a lot of people's homes. Because of the tuning on the bottom, I felt like the mid-range was veiled a pretty significant amount. However, no one's going to argue the amount of bass presence that this speaker has. It also throws a very large soundstage. And when I was listening to Bluetooth through these, I was having a good time. It wasn't critical listening though. This was the type of listening that I would do somewhat in the background. Maybe cooking dinner, something like that. And I think in that application, these speakers cannot be rivaled at their price point. The construction, they look beautiful. On the website, it talks about how well built the enclosures are. I don't think they are. I heard some pretty significant resonance going on in the upper bass, lower mids. If you look at the weight of these speakers too, the one with the amplifier comes in at 30 pounds. The one without the amplifier comes in at 29 pounds. So the amplifier obviously doesn't weigh that much. Generally, a speaker that has two 6.5-inch woofers that's this size is going to weigh a little bit more if it's got a pretty good enclosure. Not saying the enclosure here is horrible. However, I think there's some resonance going on. I also heard it with voices, mid-range vocals, a little bit of hollow, echoey nature. Stick with me though. There's still a place for these speakers. So what are my final thoughts? Final thoughts for the Fluance Ai81. This speaker is for someone that is after extreme convenience and is not a critical listener, because I think this speaker is absolutely the best Bluetooth speaker one can get. At $500, if we look at it that way, if we frame it up that this is a Bluetooth speaker, it's absolutely shockingly awesome. There's a ton of bass here. Mids are covered up. Highs are clear. For someone that's just after music in the background, maybe having people over, having dinner, having some good music playing that's loud enough, then I think the speaker's for them. These would be great for your mom or your dad that just wants something very simple. I also think this speaker is for somebody that maybe doesn't want to have a home theater receiver, because you can optical right out of your television into these, and you can run a subwoofer off of these. When you connect a sub, it cuts off the sub at 80 hertz. I think it would be great if these also had a phono preamp in them, because Fluance, to me, really shines with their turntables. And if you got like an RT82, 83, 84, 85, and you could just run right into this thing and have music, big music, without having to have another box, I think that would be ideal. I think the speaker has a good remote. It's very easy to use. It's very attractive. And for someone that's not critically listening at $500, I don't think you can get much bigger sound for your money. In one way, I'm a little bit disappointed. However, on the opposite side of the coin, what can I really expect for a pair of $500 powered tower speakers? I think most people that are coming from a Bluetooth speaker will be blown away by the sound that they can get out of the Ai81s. For most audiophiles, though, I think unless this is going to be something that you've got going on in the background, it's probably not going to meet your expectations or requirements for fidelity. For movies, I think it's fine. And frankly, if you don't have a subwoofer for movies, this is great. I've been running these in the living room. Nobody has complained about not being able to hear dialogue. Nobody has complained about stuff not going boom boom. No one's complained about it being shrill. So in a purely home theater situation where you don't want to buy a receiver, great option. If you're after a balanced sound signature with clearly defined mids, this is probably not the speaker for you. Plays really, really big, and it's going to be the right choice for some people. If you're after convenience, big sound, great Bluetooth with a remote control, this is your speaker. So if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms, Patreon-only Facebook group, Patreon-only Discord. You can also use the links in the description. Those are affiliate links, which means if you click and you buy, I do get a commission, but it doesn't cost you any more. You can also use the thanks button down at the bottom of the video. It's right next to the share button. Click on it. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Don't feel compelled to give me anything, though. You can also check out my merchandise. I'll link another powered speaker video right here if that's what you're looking for. If you're new here, like and subscribe, please. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen maybe through your new Fluance Ai81s and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.